morning. Welcome back to my living room. Today is going to be more of like a sit down and chat type of video because it is a very scary and nerve-wracking day. Grades are officially posted. So I'm gonna do a live react of my grades for my first semester of my doctorate program. So if you don't already know, my name is Corinne. I am in my first semester of my doctorate program for clinical psychology, and I just finished. Grades are officially posted, so I am officially done with my first semester. Overview of my first semester and just talk about how things went. It was harder and easier than I expected. I think it was a lot harder. I don't know if, see, the hard thing is I don't have anything to compare it to, right? So I'm virtually. I started my doctorate program virtually. I'm gonna do it all the way until probably next fall. So it's not like I was halfway through my program and I can compare and contrast. But I found it was a lot harder as far as the amount of work that kind of like gets piled on. And I found it was a lot harder retaining the information, absorbing the information. I really had like a hard time like reading the information and then watching someone lecture on it as far as like virtually, because you just don't get the same this is me, personal experience. I just didn't retain the information the same, and honestly I failed my first exam ever. Like, yes, I had failed exams in my undergrad because I was a biology major, but once I switched to psychology, I was on the dean's list. I was making A's in every single class, and I got a 10 out of 20 on one of my exams for this semester. Shit was hard. Like, I completely was just thinking like I should quit the program just from that one exam, and granted, I was being a little dramatic, but it was scary. Like, failing something is terrifying, and then especially when it's something as important as an exam, and I'm already kind of struggling in that class. Shit was hard, but it was a lot easier because there was not as much of a workload as I thought there was going to be. Like, I was expecting us to be writing like these really long, extensive essays, or people to be saying like, oh, you're just, you're not smart enough, you need to be doing all of these extra things. But for the most part, like, I got pretty good grades, and I don't feel like I was really trying that hard. So I don't know, it was interesting. My second review was, hold on, the trash man's here. I don't know if you guys can hear that. My second review was the professors and my classmates were so much nicer than I was expecting. I was honestly thinking like, oh my god, these people are gonna be like, you're dumb, like, you're so stupid, like, you don't know anything. Of course, imposter syndrome 100%, but I was expecting the professor, like you see in the movies, like you go into lecture and the professor like just calls you out and they're like, you're just like, you don't know what you're talking about, get out of my classroom. But of course, they were all very, very nice. My classmates are wonderful. I have a really great cohort that we all get along really well, which I really appreciate. We all have a group chat that really does help as far as virtually trying to talk to one another. Things are a little bit tricky, but the group chat does help. And then we also have like our subgroups of like our classes, and then I also have another subgroup of going to IBAT and things. So it was really nice, like finding real connections even though we're not in person. Finals, man. Finals kicked my ass. Like, I don't think I failed anything, but the amount of work that was just like all of a sudden I'm just doing so much and it's just so piled on top of me, I felt really overwhelmed. I was really surprised, again, coming from my undergrad, coming from a work experience, like, I'm used to deadlines, I'm used to things piling up, but it was like writing like 5 essays and 4 tests and 2 presentations and things like that. So I was really surprised like how much I actually felt really overwhelmed, how much I struggled. So just being prepared for finals, definitely using a planner is a really important thing. Relying on your classmates. I asked my classmates for I don't even know how many times of like, is this due? Is this what we're doing? Especially virtually, I was really having a hard time grasping deadlines and things kept changing. So relying on those people around you is really, really important. Yeah. And also, of course, taking the time to do some self-care. I think that's really important. I did not do as much self-care as I should have. I felt very overwhelmed, very stressed out, and like I really should have been eating healthier. I should have been drinking more water, just taking more time for myself, and especially away from the house, even if that's just going for a walk. Like I kind of put everything to the side, and then I would lay on the couch for 2 days feeling exhausted and overwhelmed, thinking about all the homework that I had to do. And that's not beneficial for anybody. Like, just because you're in school doesn't mean that everything is over, you know? Like, you can be in school and you can enjoy your life. So it's very important to take that time to take care of yourself as well. But yeah, so I have my laptop pulled up here. See? And I am going to look at my classes, and I'm going to tell you the classes that I took and my kind of little mini review of each class. Theories of Personality, Pathology, Psychotherapy, Psychoanalytics. This was a class that I struggled with the most. It was really difficult, like grasping that information. I feel like a lot of it was theoretical, and then we were supposed to be applying it to like a TV show in session that's on HBO, and that was really hard. Like I was already having trouble grasping the information, and I was reaching out to the TA, and the TA was not helpful. She wasn't very clear on explaining things. So I don't know if that's just like my personal experience with my professor and my TA, or if I really did struggle with this information, but this was one of my hardest classes. This was a class that I failed the exam. I feel very thankful because I did get a 27 out of 30 on my final essay, which is like a majority of my grade, but that was a really difficult class. Basically, we were just learning how to psychoanalyze somebody and what all the little dimensions and aspects of that, and then broken down into like the characteristics of narcissism. I think it was like bipolar and anxious, hysterical, things like that. Like honestly, I think I blocked most of that stuff out after I wrote my essay because I was like, this is really difficult. Let's see. Advanced Psychopathology. That was a really fun class, like I was saying before. My professor was amazing. She was so nice, and this was basically like we were learning all of the different diagnoses throughout the semester, and then it was really great because we had our chapter that we needed to read, and that was on the one diagnosis, like let's say mood disorders or something, right? So we'd read the chapter on the mood disorders, we'd have to take notes and then like send in like our little journal, and then the next week the students in the class, each student was assigned to a different chapter, would present on that chapter. So it was really helpful to like, not only we're reading it, we're taking notes, we're expected to like be turning information in about it. We also had our teacher present on it, and our students or my cohort present on it. So you know, you're getting it from so many different aspects and like different teaching styles, which I really appreciated. That was one of my favorite classes. I did really well in that class. It's already hard enough learning all of the DSM diagnosis, but when you have a great professor, it really does help. Intro to Psychotherapy. Oh my gosh. Professor was great, but this class was terrifying. So this was our first like sitting down, you're doing therapy sessions, like you're doing mock therapy sessions every single class, and it's already hard enough you don't know like these people because you're paired with your classmates that you're doing these therapy sessions with, and then you're doing it virtually, which I don't know why, but for me that makes everything so much more anxious, 10 times worse. It was terrifying. but psychotherapy. I made it through. It was really nerve-wracking, but it's obviously it's like the basis of my degree. Like, I'm doing clinical psychology. I did this instead of doing a PhD because I want to be face to face. I want to interact with people. That's like what I really care about. So, and PhD is more research based. So this was my intro to the rest of your life, basically, which it was a really great class. I did have a lot of fun in that class, and our TA was fantastic. Let's see, personality assessment. This was not what I thought it was. So personality assessment was, we were basically taking, people would complete personality assessments, whether it's be the MMPI, the PAI, the NEO, things like that. They're these really long, extended tests that are, 200 to 500 questions that the person's filling out, and they give it to you, and then you have to take that graph and analyze it and tell them what their personality is like. At first I really struggled with this class, but I had to do like a meeting with my teacher to just like say, hey, I'm really struggling, can you please explain this to me a little bit further? And it was really helpful. And after that, I felt more confident. I started getting a lot better grades. Just that reassurance of like, no, you are understanding it really did help. But again, if you're ever struggling with classes, make sure you reach out to your professors, your TAs, people that are teaching these classes that can help you. Because I think that really made the difference of me doing okay and then doing extremely well. Like, I got 100% on my final at the end. But I really liked this class. It was very statistical based, and I really like analyzing and looking at a graph and saying like, oh, this is how this person is. Here's some personality traits. Like, I just really, really enjoyed that class. And next semester I'm taking statistics, which in my undergrad I took regular statistics and advanced psychological statistics, which I loved. I think if I were to ever change my major again, it would definitely be stats. So I think this is going to be an add-on to that class, which I'm really excited about. I think personality assessment was great, and I am very excited to take stats next semester. Yeah, I think those were all my classes. Let's see. Oh, and we had a multicultural diversity class. That was terrifying. So going into the class, it was right when like we were having a lot of protests, things were going on with like George Floyd and things like that. It was a little bit intimidating to go into a multicultural class, and I was like, honestly, I was scared. Like, I didn't want to offend anybody. I know there was a lot of emotions going on. I didn't want to say the wrong thing. And while I'm taking this class, we're also going through elections. So I kind of took this as a time to kind of just sit back and listen, and like actively listen, not just like passively like, oh, I'm on my phone, like I'm texting, listening. I was engaged while listening, and I think that really helped. I got to hear a lot of really great perspectives, and I think I really learned a lot going into that class, being so terrified, and then coming out and hearing so many people's different experiences. And especially since we're all over the country right now, we're not all in the same place. They were talking about, I'm living here and I'm going through these certain things. So getting to know my cohort more, getting to broaden my horizons and understand my privilege and my place of where I'm coming from as far as like a white female therapist. That was one of my favorite classes. I really enjoyed the professor. I enjoyed the experiences that we had, and I think it was really good experience, good educational. So now it is time for what you all have been waiting for, which is me opening my grades. Oh my god, I'm like literally, I'm shaking. I'm so nervous. Oh, and I have to pee. I'm so scared. Okay. Oh, okay. So, okay. So theories of personality pathology, psychotherapy, psychoanalytic, which is the class that I've struggled with the most. I got a B. Thank goodness, because I really thought that I was going to fail that. Personality assessment, I got an A, 96%. Multicultural, I got an A. Introduction to psychotherapy, I got credit, which makes sense. Introduction to psychotherapy, I got an A-. Only class I'm missing is advanced psychopathology, which is the one class I really enjoyed. But yeah, okay, so B, A, credit, and A-. Yay, okay, thank goodness. I was honestly so scared. I think that's good. Okay, I feel so much better now. I wish I could like show you guys. I don't know if this is gonna work, but ta-da! I am officially done with my first semester. So for our PsyD program, if you didn't know, it's 4 years long. First 3 years are classes, and the last year is your internship. So you're not taking any classes, you're just wherever you get placed. Like it could be anywhere in the country, and you go and do like your internship there. So I am 1/6 of the way done with my classes, and I'm so excited. Oh, I feel so much better. Okay, all right, well, thanks for coming along. Hopefully it wasn't too chatty for you guys. I will see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye.